to day 2 here at Cadwell Park. MSVR as our organisers for this weekend's race meeting. We had a raft of racing yesterday. What was it, 8 races we managed to squeeze through yesterday. A quieter day today, hopefully, with some 7 races to get through, 4 of which take place this morning before the lunch break, 3 of which take place this afternoon. However, we do have 3 separate series that are with us, or championships in the case of one of them, that were with us yesterday, and therefore we need to rumble through 3 separate qualifying sessions this morning. Just heading out on the track now are the competitors for the MSVT Trackday trophy, just a series of races, no championship points to worry about for what is their second weekend of racing following their opening weekend at Silverstone on the national circuit on the 24th of April. Once we get through the MSV Trackday trophy, which is a 25-minute qualifying session, then we'll move on to the only single-seaters that we've got here this weekend, which is the United Formula Ford Championship, for a 15-minute qualifying session for what will be their 3rd weekend of racing, if memory serves me correctly. And then from that we will have the first race this season for the MSVR All-Comers. Their qualifying session will take place. That will be held over 20 minutes. Once we've got qualifying done, then the races to come this morning go the way of the Mini Miglias, United Formula Fords, the Mini 7s, and the first of the 2 All-Comers races. And then this afternoon, the cars that are qualifying now, the Trackday Trophy, will have their 45-minute race, with a second race coming up for both the Formula Fords and the MSVR All-Comers. That's the way that the day looks. Scheduled timetabled finish just before 3:30 this afternoon, if everything goes to plan. So that tells you a little bit about what's happening today. By way of introduction, Mark Werrell that's chatting to you now. I'll be basing myself, as I did yesterday if you were here, in the main commentary box, but joining me for at least this qualifying session, but for the rest of the day he will largely be out at Charlie's, bringing us all of the news and the information and the action from the countryside of the Cadwell Park circuit. Is Jack Werrell. Good morning, Jack.
Well, it is, hopefully it's very shaped up to the yesterday, but we are.
So the Trackday Trophy, as I say, is standalone races, no scoring to worry about. It's split into 3 main classes. There is the guest class for those that don't comply or haven't submitted figures for power to weight ratios, but the 3 main classes are based on power to weight ratio. So 151 to 175 brake horsepower sitting class B, they're the most powerful cars. 126 to 150 brake horse sitting class C, and class D is for those with up to 125 brake horsepower. A lot of these cars are shared as well, not in the case of all of them. There's probably, what, a third of them are shared, 2/3 of them aren't, so we've got drivers that we need to get qualified, 2 of them in the case of some of the cars. The entry list, you've got an electronic programme. There are no paper-based programmes, but you can log on to the msvrracing.com website, click on the links to their car events and download an electronic programme. The entry list for this one is on page 10. The only amendment I've been made aware of thus far is that there is one addition to the programme. You can slot in number 165. It's driven by Callum Perfect and Tony Perfect. So Callum and Tony Perfect sharing the car. The car itself is a BMW 318 Ti, which is the compact, I think, and that will run in Class G, so that is one of the cars that is running in the guest class. So that gives you the full amended entry list. Now, the race that we had at Silverstone, Charlie Bulk claimed the win at the wheel of his Renault Clio. Charlie was out racing yesterday in the Trackday Championship, but he's not one of those drivers that is also doing the trophy this weekend. Second at Silverstone was Stuart Donovan at the wheel of his Toyota Celica. Now, we do have a range of Toyota Celicas out in the field, but Stuart Donovan is not one of those that I can see amongst the entry list. And third at Cadwell Park was the Reeds, the pairing of the Reeds, which is Alex Reed in the EST Performance Volkswagen Golf, driving solo in this one. when he was at Silverstone, he was sharing with Dan Reed, but Alex is the only driver scheduled to be driving the EST Performance number 148 Volkswagen Golf. So arguably those could be cars to watch out for. But the Silverstone National Circuit, Jack, is a very, very different circuit to the tight, the twisty, the undulating Cadwell Park. To the top of the times, just to pick up on the times, I mentioned that Alex Reed had gone well and finished third at Silverstone in the number 148 EST Performance Volkswagen Golf. Well, in the early stages of this qualifying session, he is the fastest after the first flying lap that he's done, 1 minute 45.987. Second quickest is Damon Shumchalski, who has just posted a time that has actually put him to the top of the times, and I say that he goes quicker. So Shumchalski with a time of 1 minute 44.925. Now that's the number 88 car that he drives, which is the Honda Civic. It's largely sort of black and silver and red, so that means that Alex Reed drops to second, up to third on the pairing of the Steves that we saw out yesterday, car number 65, which is Steve Wiggins and Steve Hyde. At the wheel of their Mazda MX-5, they've just posted a 1 minute 46.715, and fourth quickest at the moment. That's where we see Brian Cadwell at the wheel of his Mazda MX-5. So Brian's popped at 1 minute 46.744. Father and son pairing, which is the number 3 Bora Motorsport Mazda MX-5 of Martin and Rob Adams. They have gone through in a 1 minute 46.885, so that puts them, they've gone through with a 1 minute 48.750. They've just dropped from 5th to 6th. The reason they've dropped from 5th to 6th is because we've just seen an improvement for the second of the two EST Performance cars, which is the Seat Leon of Luke and Jamie Hayes, car number 114. They've improved with a 1 minute 46.885. So at the moment, Chelsea on pole position, which on 17 minutes still to go, but it's a second quicker than anybody. First of those coming into the pits during this session is the number 65 car coming in. So this is the car that is third quickest in the qualifying session. So this is one of the many Bora Motorsport cars. Steve Wiggins and Steve Hyde had a run out yesterday in the Trackday Championship. Now, looks as though it's just adjustment to tyre pressures at the moment. We're not seeing a driver change going on in that car. That will have its adjustment done to its tyres, and then will make its way back out. And unlike the Trackday Championship, where all of the cars have to run the Toyo Proxys tyre, regulations are different for the Trackday Trophy. They just have to come from the Motorsport UK list of eligible tyres, so whether it be a 1A, a 1B or a 1C. So there's no absolute set tyre for the Trackday Trophy as there is for the Championship. So adjustment to tyre pressures, back out onto the circuit goes that Mazda MX-5, and as it leaves the pit lane, into the pit lane comes the addition to the programme, which is Callum and Tony Perfect with their BMW 318 Ti. be a very busy pit lane, and therefore when they all come into the pit lane, I think the instructions will be for them all that they need to come in and park at 45 degrees so as to make room for everybody, because they park parallel to the pit lane area, then so tight and small is the Cadwell Park pit lane, then we're not going to squeeze everybody in, I think will be the problem there. So no doubt in the briefing, which they were all given this morning, they were all instructed as to how it needs to work to accommodate everybody as much as possible. Do notice that we've got bonnet up on one of the Fiestas in the pit lane. That looks like the NJM Racing David Murphy's car. David, who was out racing just a couple of weekends ago in the Dura KA series here. Bonnet up on that one. We've also got the bonnet on Alan Tate's Ford Fiesta as well, as it is in the pit lane. So a few little tweaks being done to some cars, but out on circuit it is still the car of Damien Shrapchalski that is quickest of all. He has now battered his provisional pole time. He's down into 1 minute 43. He's 1 minute 43.831 for the number 88 car, but up into second now. He was fifth. Second quickest in this qualifying session. Now comes Brian Chander at the wheel of the BC Cars Mazda MX-5. So that's the silver, almost silver car. It's got the door roundels on it, but it's not easy to spot the number on that car. I think he's just coming out of Barn Corner now, is he? And as he goes over the start-finish line, yeah, it's almost impossible to spot the number on that car. As he goes over the start-finish line. Third quickest at the moment is number 148, which is Alex Reed. Fourth quickest is 166, which we haven't mentioned as yet. That is going to be the Fitzpatrick paired Renault Clio with Richard Clark. It's Alex Tate in the second of the Fitzpatrick cars. Ford Fiesta, however, is fifth quickest, and it's Steve Wiggins and Steve Hyde in the number 65 Mazda that are sixth at the moment. I'll pick up on the drivers that are leading their classes in a few moments, because I think everybody in the lead of their class actually is all inside the top four. Yeah, Class C car on provisional pole, Class D car second quickest, Class B car third quickest, Class G car, the guest car, fourth quickest at the moment. Yeah, 33 cars so far have set times in this qualifying session, so it's a very full grid of cars. It was a full pit lane as well, but that has emptied rather over the course of the last few moments or so. There's now just two cars sitting there in the pit lane, one of which is the Scuderia Dave Mazda MX-5, Dave Connell and Dave Nolan sharing that car, and the other car is Semprini Honda, Jeremy Evans, Bill Hart, Semprini Racing. Into the pit lane comes another Mazda though, and that is the one that I've been really struggling to spot, the number 95 to me, and that will be the number 95 Mazda, which is an addition to the programme, is it? Is it an addition to the programme, or is it a renumbered car? Makes me wonder. It is number 95. It is James Merrill of Ben O'Hare, so that is an addition to the programme. James Merrill of Ben O'Hare, car number 95. It runs in Class D, so that one I've literally only just picked up on. So 95, James Merrill, M-E-R-R-I-L-L, M-E-R-R-I-L-L, and Ben O'Hare. Ben O'Hare has been a long time Mazda MX-5 racer, and they run in Class D in their Mazda MX-5s. That's another addition to the programme that we need to bring to you. So qualifying still continuing, topping the times. It's still the DP Service Racing Honda Civic of Damien Shrapchalski that continues to lead the way by just over 0.8 of a second from the number 76 Mazda.